everyone, this is Trevor, and thank you for coming to my show today. Topics I've been thinking about and that have been rambling around on the interwebs. Trudeau and China. Well, I think, pretty much those two names have been floating around the internet for a while now, but Trudeau, it is coming out now that the fine institutions here in Canada, Canada's Alphabet Club of CSIS, and other, I suppose, police institutions are coming out saying that there is some kind of Chinese Communist Party, the CCP, has had some kind of influence in the last few elections here in Canada. And they, I guess, financially bribed, did whatever they could to make sure that people who believe in communism typically are in, the NDP Liberal parties here in Canada, and influenced the elections with money, bribing people. I guess covert lobbyists, as I would like to call them, because people do lobby politicians every day, corporations and whatnot. So it's not. Does it bother me? Yes, but then again, I'm not surprised. So, so I guess China covertly interfered with elections in Canada, and from what I've researched, it looks like at least 11 seats in the Parliament, the federal Parliament here in Canada, were paid for by the Communist Party of China. And as we all know, okay, Trudeau loves how the Chinese Communist Party can turn their economy around on a dime. So if you're into communism, you think communism is the answer, just stop right now, go to another channel. Because this channel does not support communism, fascism. These are the worst Marxism. These are the worst isms you could ever want to live under. Okay? So, but here's Justin Trudeau, and he's even admitted he's not economically savvy. He won the election in Canada. I think he's had help from the Communist Chinese Party. Definitely, he's a member of Klaus Schwab's World Economic Forum, the WEF. That's not a good organization either, people. So. What more can we say about Justin Trudeau? I mean, this fella he is the Teflon Don, okay? He's like John Gotti of Canada. Nothing seems to stick on this fella. Will this new scandal stick on Trudeau? I don't know. Concrete evidence comes out that yes, China were covert lobbyists in getting people who believe in communism to be politicians here in Canada. I don't know if it'll stick. I wouldn't be shocked if it will stick. I've said this months ago, probably a year ago, that I think Justin Trudeau could do a live stream on YouTube just about doing anything, and people would just, seal clap him or, turn the other way or wouldn't care. I don't know how he gets away with what he does, but yeah, Justin Trudeau definitely seems to do whatever he wants. So will this latest scandal stick on him? I mean, nothing sticks on him. There was the WE scandal, financial scandals. I think it's a scandal what he did in February 2022 to peaceful Canadians that went to Ottawa, peacefully asking him to end the mandates, because Canadians, we want to go back to work. We want to work, and when Canadians are at work, guess what, Justin Trudeau? Your coffers get filled, okay? Via taxation, via taking the money, the fruits of the labors from the people. But it's hard, your coffers get more empty as more people, you say, well, they have to have a particular medical procedure to work. Well, those are less people, and, eventually those people have to, what? File for welfare or something? I don't know. Like, it's that's all people want. It's not like No one showed up to Ottawa, with pitchforks, and they didn't have torches lit and pitchforks and baseball bats. None of that was brought there. There was no violence on the part of people going there. If anything, the violence was on Justin Trudeau declaring martial law, the Emergencies Act, which is, a fancy word for martial law. If anything, the people, so Justin Trudeau, who initiated that, and the people who carried it out, police and military, on the people, that's where the acts of violence came from. Okay, the acts of violence came from the people who enforced all the COVID measures that had been instituted here in Canada. Those are the people that are responsible for violence, not people asking, can I please go back to work? Can I get a job in the healthcare? Can I be a trucker? Can I be a gunsmith? All the, so many different things. Can I open up a firearms store? These things, Justin Trudeau doesn't want them to do. So yeah, Justin Trudeau, just another scandal on top of scandal on top of scandal, and we'll see where this latest one sticks with the covert lobbying exercises that were done here in Canada. Seems, from what I see, they're saying, for the last few years, China has been, they got their finger in the Canadian pie, trying to buy politicians. Obviously they want to put their agenda in here, have their communist ways be brought more so into Canada. Because let's face it, Canada has been a socialist paradise since the 1960s. Like 60 years now. 60 years Canada has been a socialist paradise. Now people will talk about, I'll digress a little bit here. I know people think we have a lovely healthcare and education system here. Those do have to be paid for, okay? That has to be extracted from people who run small, medium businesses, which were absolutely decimated since March 2020, okay? The only businesses that were really allowed to operate were the Walmarts and the Amazons and the mega corporation stores. So, but anyway, all these programs in Canada, I'm not for government running really anything, okay? Which I will get into a bit further on the end here, but I want to wrap up with Trudeau. Yeah, so Trudeau, China obviously has a covert lobbyists that are influencing our politicians here, and what more can I say about that? Oh, I paused there for a sec, had a little bit of a brain fog. China. So yes, it has come out. And I don't know where I fall on this one. I've kind of figured this has been like this for the last couple of years, but it would appear that COVID did originate from a lab in Wuhan, China. And it either by accident or on purpose escaped. And we all know what happened. I mean, it wasn't the Spanish flu kind of killing of the population over a several year period, but it did, cause people in the millions to die, several million. So, what do we do on that one? I don't know. I don't really have any answers. I'm just reporting on this. I'm just gonna, I'm sending this out now. Yes, it appears that now this had come out several years ago, and even back then I thought, well, okay, if Mother Nature didn't cook up COVID and we cooked it up, how do we hold that country responsible? It could have happened anywhere. Canada could have been working on COVID and it escaped from a lab. How would you deal with it? I mean, you can't militarily. I do not support any kind of military intervention into that. But I mean, I think it has to be brought out, and China has to. The Communist Party of China does have to recognize, okay, yeah, it did escape from our lab, and I think is it helpful? I don't know. I don't know where I stand on this. Let me know in the comments below where you stand on this. If COVID is found to be conclusively, it did escape from a lab in Wuhan. What are your thoughts on it? I don't know. I hate to say I stand on the fence on this one. I think that China needs to acknowledge that it did escape from them, their a lab in Wuhan. But as far as reparations or intervention, that I don't know. I don't know where we go with that one. But yeah, I mainly wanted to report on the Trudeau. It looks like his liberal politicians were compromised by communism. So, yeah, and so, oh yeah, so now I said before, well, what's the solution to this? Okay, so if Trudeau does get thrown out of office for this, which I would be absolutely shocked if Trudeau finally gets thrown out of office for something, because again, I refer to him as the Teflon Don. So let's say he does get thrown out, and we have another federal election here in Canada. Okay, it's going to cost, they figure at least $600 million, and we're already struggling here in Canada. Food prices are just, I do the grocery shopping around here for the Pioneer Spirit Homestead, and I'll tell you, right, like it's exhausting every time I go now. And so I guess another 600 million to have an election. Hey, who cares? Economy's hurting, but we'll do it. So if it comes down to that, who do we have in Canada? We have the Conservative leader, Pierre Poilievre. He just looks like again some kind of a slick soy boy beta male version of Justin Trudeau. I don't think he's any better. None better, no worse. But it's the revolving door politics. Like, we kick out Trudeau and we replace him with what? Just some other guy that's going to just... It's not a solution, okay? If government's the solution, then voting in another politician and relying on government, that's the solution, was a dumb question. Again, I've maintained this. You know me by now. If you've watched my videos, I do promote voluntarism, voluntary ways that people can relate to one another through the trading of goods and services, through friendships, personal relationships, everything voluntary, okay? I mean, to a certain degree, I suppose, but I mean, we should, rather than having the government way of relating to one another, I would like to have a voluntary way. And if people have chosen the route of legalized plunder via a social contract, okay. If that's what we have to have a civilized society, then let's have something like the United States Constitution. Of all the social contracts out there, I've said this before, it's the best one. And it should be, and it could be, voluntarily maintained. People could have, you could be a full-time whatever and maintain it voluntarily. If people want to voluntarily pay you for having to maintain a constitution like the United States Constitution, if that's what we're going to live under, nothing more or nothing less, definitely nothing more. And what I mean by government laws, just having, there's the Constitution, it's laid out, we will live like this, okay? Because I know people are fearful of saying, hey, we can't live in an anarchist, anarchy kind of society, so, we have to have some kind of social contract, government. Okay, if we're going to have like a minimalist government, then let's have something like the Constitution. Okay, I'm not in favor of that route either. I would like to go 100% voluntary, but okay, let's just have this people voluntarily maintaining. Okay, let's try to work on that. That's my solution. Okay, because a lot of people come out, they talk the gloom and doom of, oh, politicians are doing this, politicians are doing that. Like I pointed out at the beginning of my video here, it is doom and gloom that Trudeau and China and the Communist Party of China are colluding to corrupt Canada. That's doom and gloom. My solution to that, well, we definitely have to get rid of Trudeau. And I would love to get rid of all the parties, really, and just have like a United States Constitution style papers, social contract that we follow, and people who could voluntarily maintain it, and if they want to do it for a certain amount of time, that's fine. We could have people just Just make sure it's maintained. We're living by that particular social contract. That's my solution to what's going on in the world. Because I certainly know we get rid of Trudeau. If this scandal brings it down, it's just going to be the revolving door of bums. One bum goes in, the other bum goes out, and it's a revolving door of bums, and it doesn't work. It's never worked from the days of Socrates. As Socrates found out back in his day, 2,500 years ago, he found out, oh, hey, I guess he found out how people could vote, okay? And if you look into Socrates a bit more, if you're interested in that, he found out how voting ended his life. So, I don't know. I don't know what more. That's it. That's all I got to say today. Hope everybody's doing well and stay free, okay? Bye-bye.